Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com asking you a question. If there's a watch that you love, except it might be too big for you, would you take it in a smaller size? It's a question that we go through a lot, certainly at Islander. But now there's a watch I'm going to show you today that is based off of a much larger counterpart. It's slimmed down a little bit. Will it appeal to a more massive audience? We will check it out on one wrist today. What am I wearing? Oh, I am wearing my Seiko limited edition. This is a European SPB model. Beautiful kind of Greek island beach water theme going on. It looks totally awesome. And on my other wrist is another watch that's great for the beach. The Islander Solitaire, a solar diver that we released a couple of months ago. I do believe the white dial is actually getting close to being sold out. The other three colors, I won't say nobody wants, but they're certainly not as popular as the white. Anyway, that's it from here. Let's check out this slightly smaller alternative. So not that long ago, I showed you this Spinnaker Piccard. This is not the watch we're talking about today, by the way. It is this huge 45 millimeter watch with a 21 millimeter thickness out to the dome and incredible water resistance. And Spinnaker actually had a hit on their hands. I didn't sell it for years, and they kind of told me, you should really get it because people do buy it. And I bought it, and yeah, people buy it, much to my shock. However, perhaps this has a lot more mass appeal. And I don't know why I picked the gray one, probably one of the most uninteresting colors they did. Let's do one of the blues. Let's pick up the blue one instead. This is the Challenger automatic. So this is their take on, I guess I'm going to call it the Piccard, except at albeit a much smaller size. And darn, a dial that looks like an Islander Melville, except it's got, you know, brush lines going through it. Kind of crazy. But anyway, so this is the Spinnaker Challenger. And then at the end of the video, by the way, I'm going to show you some of the new Spongebob Frenemies collection if you're interested in that. So we're going to do a lot of work today. So this guy's running on a Seiko NH35 movement, and it is down to 42 millimeters in diameter from the 45 of the Piccard. Now the thickness, it's still pretty damn thick. It's 19 millimeters thick. But it's got this huge sapphire, yes, it's a sapphire crystal, this huge sapphire dome with AR coating. Although, can't really imagine the AR is really needed because there's so much distortion that happens off angle. And it's 49.5 on the lug tip. To lug tip, you do get a solid screw down case back. You get a nice 20 millimeter bracelet held in with, yes, quick release spring bars. Nice to start seeing that on other watches to kind of following through. It's 300 meters of water resistance. Did I mention it's a 20 millimeter bracelet? I'm not sure. I believe the bracelet is pins. Yes, the bracelet is held together with pins. A standard fair clasp with 3 micro adjusts, but at least it is milled, and there is a little diver's extension, which there should be because it's technically a diving watch, even though it's not an ISO watch. It's tucked away there. Weighs 170 grams, 300 meters of water resistance, and it actually does come off also a blue rubber strap that kind of matches it. So they all come with a matching strap. Price on all of them is it's a $445 MSRP. So NH35 movement, screw down crown, unscrew it, you can wind it, put out 2 clicks to set the time, 1 click to set the date at the bottom, and as you can see, I'm really having a hell of a time with the reflection simply because of the curviness nature of the monster crystal. 120 click unidirectional ratcheting bezel with no minute markings, maybe a slight miss for me because it's supposed to be, you know, a diver of sorts. But it comes in 4 colors. The blue, the fiery red. It's got a little, I don't want to say a little bit of an orangey tone to it. It's not a fire engine red in my opinion, but maybe that's just because of the reflections that you get off the from the crystal to the dial when it picks up a little light. It's got yellow accents, really nice. Definitely eye-popping and eye-catching. I showed you the gray, which is kind of ironic. So like there's a Melville in gray and there's a Melville in blue. Crazy. And then there's a green. The green's really cool. Nice with the yellow accents. Pretty cool. So you could snag any one of these, like I said, for an MSRP of 445 bucks. Let's try one on and we'll do some loom. Not necessarily in that order. You have C3 on the hands and markers, and BGW9 is on the bezel. It looks really cool. The tail of the mini hand is pretty interesting. Almost looks like an hourglass shape, or half of an hourglass that you can see there. Let's see what it looks like on the wrist. So here it is on my wrist, 6.5 below, 6 3/4 above the bone. Definitely a good fitment for me on diameter and case length. However, the jury is out for you on whether that bubble of a crystal is too much. However, it is a gorgeous watch. So that dial really comes through. Oh man, nice looking, but definitely something that when you hold off angle, people might stare a little bit. Not as much as they might have stared with this one, but looks really cool. So now let's switch gears and head on over to our friend Bob. So I want to just feature these pretty quickly. There's 3 of them. It's part of the Frenemies collection. I figure people want to see them. As you guys probably know, Spinnaker has been doing a bunch of collabs with SpongeBob. This is probably the 4th or 5th one. If you have a winning horse, you keep betting on it and you keep riding it. It's powered, this is interesting, by a Miyota 8245, which is an offset seconds. And that is what's going on the lower right-hand corner. I'm gonna get the hands out of the way. So the offset seconds is marked in Krabby Patties on this one. And they're being flipped onto, well, kind of onto SpongeBob's plate. SpongeBob is actually, I guess he's under the crystal. He's painted on the underside of the crystal. Pretty cool. This is based on, I believe, the Floose model. So it's gonna be 43 by 13 by 51. So it's kind of a large-ish watch. 22 millimeter lug width, 150 meters of water resistance, weighs 92 grams. There's 3 of them to pick from. They are all limited. Oh, I should show you the flip side. You get the cool rotor. Let's look at the 15 atmospheres, water resistance, and somewhere on here, there should be an LE number. Yeah, it's over here. So each one's limited to a couple hundred units. So you have 3 to pick from. All of them are an MSRP of 395 bucks. You have SpongeBob. Strap is really cool. It's like this sailcloth with this, can you see that kind of texture over it? Or, you know, almost like an embossed leather pattern or a string pattern. Leather backed. You have Plankton in green. And what's he doing? Well, that Krabby Patty is just flipping around in the air. Looks really nice. I love the bezel inserts on this watch with that domed kind of like 50 fathoms kind of look to it. The crown is, yes, the crown is interesting. Yellow, green. And the last one is Sandy. Sandy the squirrel. It's kind of done in a white and pink motif. I guess if you want to call it unisex, ladies watch, I'm not sure. I could see guys wearing this though. It is a nice pink. The dial is not pure white. It's a little bit, you can get it, you know, kind of a little bit of an ivory-ish, nice texture overlaid, and she's got little flowers that are spinning around on the rotating disc. But I will try one on. So here we go again on my 6.5 below, 6 3/4 above. Oops. Looks nice. You know what these watches are. Let's see the loom. There you go. Now, is that cool how they loom the actual figure on the glass? Totally nifty. So you have BGW9 on the bezel, C3 on the hands and markers, and I'm assuming that she is painted and then backed with loom. That's probably the way they're doing it, so it peeks through a little bit, but that is so cool. And I think that is going to do it for us today here. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the now smaller Spinnaker Challenger. And, of course, the new Spongebob Frenemies collection. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Questions, comments, anything else you want to say, put it down below. I will be sure to address it as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.